Game wrapped up less than 10 minutes ago. I just finished watching it upstairs. Voice is kind of shot because that game had a couple of games worth of yelling at the TV. But after taking, 6, 7, 8 minutes to think about that game after it's over, I still don't really know how to discuss it. There's a lot of stuff that happened in this game that needs to be digested. At the end of the day, though, all I can say is that we had a 10-point lead with 2.5 minutes left, and we lost. So I don't know what to call that other than a monumental choke. And in defense of the defense, I do want to say this. They bailed the offense out twice in this game. They did. Wilson threw one of the worst picks of his career to Buda Baker. And then DK made maybe the play of the game, or it would have been the play of the game if we had won. And the defense nutted up, got a stop in the red zone, and got the ball back to the offense. And I also want to say Wilson threw another bad pick. I think that one might have been on Metcalf stopping his route. I don't know, but something went wrong. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. And then the defense went and got the ball right back on a admittedly terrible throw, but they got the ball back. And they got completely screwed on one of the worst calls you'll see all season against Bobby Wagner, hitting a tight end after an incomplete pass right as the ball was going to get there if the ball was thrown well, and 15-yard penalty on third down to keep the drive alive. Arizona was about to go punt, and then they decided Bobby's not allowed to play defense anymore, so that turned into a touchdown. So in defense of the defense, I do want to say that, but look, Ken Norton doesn't have it. Ken Norton just can't do it. Ken Norton needs to be fired. I don't know how obvious he needs to make it. I understand that it might not make a big difference, but I don't know how bad this defense has to play before we realize that Ken Norton needs to go this week. Arizona gets the ball with 50 seconds left, no timeouts, needing a field goal. You know they need a field goal, and they just march right down and get it. Like, defense may as well sit on their hands. So I don't know what Ken Norton has to do to lose his job at this point, but this is getting... I mean, against New England and Dallas, we nutted up to make the big play at the end of the game, and I guess you would say Minnesota too. And, we did force a couple turnovers in this game, I do want to say. I said in this game, we're going to give up yards, we're going to give up points, but if we get some turnovers, we can win. And we did get those turnovers. And the offense, well, they weren't able to fully execute, but Ken Norton just doesn't have it. And I'm not saying anybody else we bring in is going to have it, but we won't know unless we try. I don't think we touched Kyler Murray once all game. Not a single QB hit on him, I know that. No sacks, no QB hits. Maybe we got a couple pressures, but it was pretty embarrassing for most of the game how Kyler just could do whatever he wanted to. I know some of that was because we were spying him, but it's just not an NFL pass rush. Some of that's on this front office. Some of that is on the players. Some of that's on this coaching staff. But whatever it is, I don't know what Ken Norton has to do to prove that he doesn't belong in the NFL. And if you're going to tell me Ken Norton has no control over this defense and this is all Pete, then honestly say the same of Pete. This team has made massive investments on their defense, and they just blew a game where they had a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left. Yeah. Run defense played great all game, and then at the end just gets completely blown off the field. Chase Edmonds, big runs. Kyler Murray had a couple big runs too. At the end of the day, 5 yards a carry, 160 yards, not good enough. They were so good against Kenny and Drake, and then at the end of the game they just wilted. Trey Flowers gets in the game because Shaq gets hurt, and predictably just they attack him over and over again, and he can't do it. Trey Flowers, another dude who just doesn't have it. Yeah, this defense, I don't want to put everything on them because they did make a couple big plays to bail out the offense, and they did get screwed by the worst call I've ever seen. And by the way, to the officiating crew tonight, I want you guys unemployed tomorrow. That was terrible. You call that garbage on Bobby, but then Travis Homer gets hit helmet to helmet by Budda Baker. And not only does he not get ejected, which he should have been, he stays in the game. He doesn't even get a flag. Face mask on Wilson on the next play, no call. Garbage. And the third Lockett touchdown gets overturned on the field, and then we have to review it. Ridiculous. Terribly officiated game. But at the end of the day, that's not even why we lost this game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not even saying that. Yeah. Special teams. Finally, we have a special teams miscue. Michael Dixon booms the ball into the end zone with 50 seconds left. If he keeps it in play, more time comes off the clock. I understand he was just trying to get the ball off, and he did. And it's not the worst result, but if he keeps it in play, time comes off the clock. Arizona might not have time to drive for the tie-in score. And the big one, of course, Mayo. I don't know what to say about that. How do you not know the rules? Leverage has been illegal for several years now. I don't understand why he was doing that. I'm really looking to see Mayo explain why he went over the top on that play, but yeah. I'm really disappointed in Wilson tonight. I am. He made so many awesome plays out there. He really did. He made great plays out there. That first half, other than the one really bad pick to Budda Baker, which, I mean, obviously just abominable. But other than that one play, I was like, wow, this guy's locked in. This guy's looks like the MVP. And then second half, I swear he chugged a big bottle of NyQuil in the halftime locker room, missing some throws, threw some picks. I'm disappointed in the way he played. We needed him to be great tonight, and he was great in parts, but yeah. I mean, in some ways, it seems weird to get mad at Wilson when he accounted for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns and 34 points, most hard-earned. Most of those points hard-earned, but the turnovers, 2 of those interceptions were just terrible. One of them might have been on Metcalf. Metcalf might have run the wrong route. I'm not sure, but whatever. It's still an interception. Yeah, just really frustrating. And at the end of the day, we got the ball twice in overtime. You're supposed to win. Wilson got the ball twice in overtime and didn't even move into field goal range. I don't even think we moved into the other side of the 50. Well, no, we did, but yeah. I don't know what else to say other than he needs to be better. And I know part of the problem with this team is that Wilson needs to be perfect all the time for this team to win, but at the same time, you know, I've always defended Russell Wilson's contract, which is paying him like $35 million a year, and it is a good contract for the team. That's a completely fair contract, but it's contingent on Wilson playing like he's the best player in the league, and tonight he wasn't. Tonight, Kyler outplayed him. And, you know, there was this one comment on Twitter I saw that said, Wilson, if you're going to let Russ cook, you have to live with the results, and sometimes when you throw the ball more, you throw more picks, and that's fine. I understand if Wilson's going to throw the ball more, he's going to throw more picks. I don't need him to never throw a pick. To never throw a pick would be to not play football. But I think he got outplayed tonight by Kyler in many ways. And Kyler had to throw the ball about as much as Wilson. And Kyler's a second-year player, and he only turned the ball over once. And he made mistakes. I'm not saying Kyler played a perfect game, but he avoided the game-costing mistakes that Wilson did. So yeah, coming off a bye week in a divisional game on primetime football, I'm really disappointed in Wilson. I will say this, regardless of how I feel he played tonight, and don't get me wrong, he did amazing stuff out there too. The throws to Lockett were amazing, the touchdowns to Lockett, incredible stuff. He had some awesome passes to Moore and Disley. Greg Olsen had an awesome one-handed catch, by the way. He did great stuff out there. He put up 34 points, but I do want to say I give the coaching staff a little bit of credit for going for that 4th down at the 3-yard line to get our lead to 10 instead of 6. That was a gutsy call, and it was the right call, and we did it, and we scored, and it should have put this game away, and it didn't. And the reason why it didn't put the game away was on this crappy, crappy defense. But I don't know what to say about a sequence where you have the ball, 1st and 10. Arizona has, I think, 2 timeouts, and then you go run to Carlos, run to Carlos, run to Carlos. You don't even have Chris Carson in the game. Carson's in the game. That's one thing. Carson got hurt in this game earlier, by the way. If you have Carson in the game, okay, I'll reevaluate, but Hyde, you just go handoff, 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 punt. Now, the defense should have been able to stop him with 50 seconds left and no timeouts, but at the same time, it's like, if you let Wilson keep the ball on 3rd down with a run-pass option or something, you're probably going to pick up the 1st down, and even if you don't, the clock is going to drain more because he's going to be running around in the backfield a little bit longer. You can take a couple extra seconds off the clock, which would have been a big deal at the end of this game. So I'm really, yeah. I'm going to have to look at the tape. I'm going to have to look at some of the metrics to see about the pass rush tonight, but it seemed like it was invisible the whole game, just trash. Tackling, atrocious. I mean, Quentin Dunbar had a tackle on Christian Kirk at the 1-yard line, and he completely blew it. Let Kirk get a touchdown. If you make that tackle, you take another 20 seconds off the clock, and then we win the game at the end probably. But Dunbar misses the tackle, Kirk scores, and Arizona gets an extra play at the end of the game. Tackling was atrocious all game. I don't feel like, especially down the stretch, we didn't have a single play all game where we didn't blow a tackle. I kind of feel for Wagner because he got completely screwed by the refs on that one call, but I don't know what kind of game he had tonight. My instincts are he did not play very well, but I'm going to have to take a look at the tape to figure it out. I'm going to have to take a look at the metrics to figure it out. Trey Flowers came in to get abused as he does. Yeah. 1 pass defense all game, and it was the Quandre Diggs pick, and 0 QB hits. I don't know what Ken Norton has to do, guys. And I know we're still 5-1, still at the top of the division. And I know the defense wasn't the only reason why we lost this game, but I don't know what Ken Norton has to do to lose his job. I really don't know. If you're Pete Carroll, even if it's not Ken Norton's problem, you would think that you would at least use him as a scapegoat. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm really, really, really disappointed. I mean, obviously, Wilson played a bit of a sloppy game. He made many mistakes, but at the same time, because of him, we had a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left. Arizona kicking a long field goal, the penalty, which didn't necessarily have to kill us. We still got the ball back to our offense with a 3-point lead, needing to just get a couple first downs to protect it. Play calling, suspect. The offensive line played amazing the whole game. And then in overtime, they let pressure in constantly. 2 sacks on Wilson in overtime after nothing the whole game. Oh, man. There's so many things that went wrong in this game, really. I think we probably gave the ball to Carlos Hyde and Travis Homer a few too many times. Not that they played a bad game. Hyde, I want to say, did not play a bad game at all. But when Carson went out, I know Wilson missed some throws and turned it over a few times, but probably should have made the game a little bit more about him. I mean, at the end of the day, you are going to ride or die with Wilson. If Wilson's going to have a bad game and you lose because of it, then to a certain extent, I'm willing to live with that because this team is organized. This team's contract situation is set up in a way such as Wilson needs to be the guy. But, yeah. I don't know. Very frustrating. Very, very sad. Very, very pathetic. I don't know if heads are going to roll, but this defense, it's not an NFL caliber defense. And I say that even though they bailed out the offense twice and they got completely hosed on that ridiculous Bobby Wagner roughing call, which I'm expecting an apology letter from the league. David Moore, why can't you just let your dude go? It's not that big of a deal. DK Metcalf breaks tackles all the time. Just let DK break a tackle like he does on every play he catches a ball. That made me mad. I mean, that was a good call. I can't even really get that mad about it because it was clearly the right call. I'm down, guys. I'm down. We had a chance to bank a win without Jamal Adams. We had a chance to bank a win without Jamal Adams. Hold a 10-point lead. Didn't happen. All right. Live stream a little later. Peace out, go Hawks. Yeah, that's it.